Another one of those boring games. You know, this felt like us beating down the Giants or destroying the Redskins or eviscerating the Rams. Just absolutely like just killing the Jets. Or like, I don't know, sending the damn Panthers to the Shadow Realm. This was a boring game. I love boring games. I love them. There was no doubt whatsoever. This game was completely controlled by the Cowboys. Even after the BS fumble recovery by Jalen Carter for a touchdown, even through that, you're like, yeah, just a little hiccup right there. We're still in control. The game was just out of reach for the Philadelphia Eagles. We dominated them. It wasn't even close. Like, I can't even go as hard as I want to because when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they look lifeless, soulless, gutless, nutless. These motherfuckers have nothing. Zero. Nada. They look lethargic out there. Jalen is hurt. No pun intended. But Jalen is hurt. He got up on one play and was just grimacing. He's in pain. The Philadelphia Eagles, they look like they're done, man. They look like they're fucking done. It's a wrap for them. Beat by Dallas. I love wearing this shirt. But they look done, man. Brandon Aubrey is player of the game. Brandon Aubrey is 30 for 30 when it comes to field goal attempts this season. He's missed 3 extra points throughout this season, but he's hit every field goal. He hit a 60-yarder and a 59-yarder with room to spare. Brandon Aubrey is such a godsend. You know, finding a kicker. I don't know how we got lucky with Brandon Aubrey, but having a kicker like this is such a luxury. It's such a luxury. We've dealt with some shit fucking kickers at recent years. Brett Maher, Greg Zuerlein, like the list goes on and on. And to run into Brandon Aubrey like this, who didn't even kick in college, it's a fucking godsend. We got lucky with that. We got lucky. Dak Prescott had a pretty good game. Stephon Gilmore, even though A.J. Brown got his yards, he didn't get 100, but I think he got 90-some yards. Stephon Gilmore, for the most part, held him in check a little bit. The 33-year-old veteran, he's out there. He's still playing at a high level. The Dallas Cowboys forced 3 fumbles, 1 from Jalen Hurts, 1 from A.J. Brown, and 1 from Devontae Smith. There's not really much I can say. Big boy Jonathan Hankins, our interior defensive lineman, went down. He's really good at in helping us stop the run. I really hope his ankle isn't too bad. I really hope the injury isn't too serious. Reed Blankenship, the safety for the Philadelphia Eagles, he went down he went into concussion protocol. He was out for the rest of the game. That really hampered the Philadelphia Eagles coverage packages because you got to put an extra linebacker out there. So that didn't really help them out. Jake Ferguson, this emerging, burgeoning tight end for the Dallas Cowboys, he had another monster game. Man, the offense, for the most part, did its job. I mean, there were a few drives where I'm like, what the fuck is going on? We had a couple of drives that stalled out, but I mean, hey, that happens. I mean, we didn't really have to play with urgency because the game was in our hands the entire time. We didn't really have to. We've had so many boring games this season, and I'm grateful for that. I really am. You know how like someone will tell you that a boring job is a dream job, which it is. A boring game where your team is dominating is a godsend. It's a blessing. You gotta. I know it's hard to enjoy, but you can't take boring games for granted. It just goes to show that your team is firing on all cylinders. It just goes to show that your team is dominant. And we've had so many boring games. The best games this season that we've had, well, I wouldn't say best. I'm saying the most entertaining games we've had this season. Last week against the Seahawks, there were no punts by either team in the first Eagles game, which we should have won. We should have won that game. The first Eagles game was entertaining. But other than that, we really haven't had any entertaining games this season. We haven't. We're 10-3. If the Philadelphia Eagles win out, they'll still win the NFC East. But the way they look, they have to go to Seattle next week. I don't know, dog. I don't know. The Seattle Seahawks, they were dominated today by the San Francisco 49ers. And they're 6-7, and they are still fighting for their playoff lives. And they may take it out on the Philadelphia Eagles next week. So if the Eagles lose next week, Cowboys have to find a way to win out. We have a tough stretch ahead of us. The Buffalo Bills went into Kansas City and beat them. The Buffalo Bills are fighting for their playoff lives at 7-6. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at us. We got to travel to Buffalo next week. That's not a trap game. We're going mano-a-mano with a desperate team who just happens to, luck wasn't on their side, but they're still good. The Buffalo Bills are still good. They're still good. They should have beaten the Eagles a couple of weeks ago. Josh Allen, I've seen a couple of his games. Josh Allen is a Superman. Josh Allen I know the turnovers. I know he commits a lot of turnovers, but when you see him play, he is a fucking ubermensch. Josh Allen is a fucking superhero, man. He's going to be tough to beat next week. He's going to be extremely tough to beat. I hope my Cowboys can figure out a way to come out. Maybe force some turnovers like they did today against the Philadelphia Eagles. But the thing is, we can't expect that because I expect the Buffalo Bills to throw the kitchen sink at us. I expect for them to be firing on all cylinders, and there's no margin of error for them. They're going to come out and they're going to play hard. They're going to play clean and efficient. We got to figure out a way. It's going to be tough. But Cowboys fans, how does it feel now? How does it feel when you hear those cheesesteak eating bastards and you hear all these other hating ass Cowboy haters when they say shit like, oh, you can't beat winning teams, you can't do this against winning teams and all this shit? Well, we just beat a 10-2 team. You know, the Seattle Seahawks played their best game of the season. They were 6-5. So back to back beating winning teams. I know Seattle isn't a winning team now, but at the time they were. And then we go in and completely dominate the Philadelphia Eagles by 20 points, 33-13. Shout out to the offensive line. Tyron Smith. I really don't want to say, I don't want to jinx him because, you know, he gets hurt every fucking season. But Tyron Smith has been dominant. Tyler Smith, left guard, second year guy. He's been dominant. He should be an all-pro this year. Tyler Smith should be an all-pro. What a find. Will McClay and Stephen Jones, man, I don't know what the fuck they be doing, but they be finding some great players, man. Tyler Smith is out of Tulsa. How do you find a dominant left guard like that from Tulsa? How do you do that? Man, Tyler Biotish, he had himself a day. It was a rough game. But you're going against Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, he's been in the league for what? I was not 11, 12 years, maybe longer. I'm not sure. Fletcher Cox, he can still ball. But Jalen Carter, man, if y'all go back, oh man, hold on. If y'all go back to my draft day video, I was distraught when he fell to number 9 to the Philadelphia Eagles. He's going to be a thorn in our side for the next decade. But hey, at least we got Micah Parsons, and Micah Parsons can be a thorn in their side. Speaking of Micah Parsons, he had a sack today. He had the flu. It was a flu game for him. Now, he ain't no Michael Jordan flu game, but he still had himself a game. He was wreaking havoc, causing a lot of pressure, making Jalen Hurts throw the football faster than what he wanted to. Speaking of which, Jalen Hurts has a tendency to hold on to the ball longer than he should. Now, of course, there were instances where he had to let the ball go because of the pressure, especially for Micah Parsons. But there are times in this game where he held on the ball too long. It seems as though Jalen Hurts, I'm not saying he has trouble processing what he's seeing out there, but his indecisiveness. You know, if Dak was indecisive like this, I'm pretty sure Dan Orlovsky would, you know, that bitch motherfucker. I hate Dan Orlovsky. I'm sure he would comment on it. You know, I'm pretty sure Chris Canty, that piece of shit, he used to play for the Dallas Cowboys, and now he just forgot about that. I hope his key card never works down here. I'm pretty sure haters like Chris Canty and Dan Orlovsky, they would comment on that. I'm pretty sure Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith and even Mad Dog Russo, I'm pretty sure they would comment on that. Keyshawn Johnson on Undisputed. Emmanuel Acho. LaShawn McCoy. Joy. Man, fucking Joy. Is she sucking off is she sucking off Shady in the back rooms or something? I don't know. But just imagine if Dak Prescott held onto the ball too long and had trouble processing the field and couldn't make quick decisions. I'm pretty sure all of those fucking haters will say something about it. But when it's Jalen Hurts, But brothers, what more can I say? The Dallas Cowboys, they dominated by 20 points at home, 14-game winning streak. We did what we were supposed to do at the end of the day. We destroyed another team. It is what it is. Next week is probably going to be our toughest test of the season. We're going against that fucking Superman and Josh Allen. Let's just hope the mistakes are self-inflicted for them. Because if he plays a clean game, they have a chance. Especially in Orchard Park in Buffalo. That's going to be a tough one. But brothers, I'm going to catch y'all later. I may see y'all in the middle of the week, who knows. But I'm going to catch y'all later for now. Peace.